Rita, can you describe for the listeners and for me what your daily life was like? What you would do when you were there over these close to 8 years? You were there, five years. 5 years. Sorry.
Yeah.
What did you do? What was it like when you had already been there and seen the country and had friends there? But when you went over there to work for the organization, what did you do every day? You worked with mothers, you worked with kids, but what was it like?
Well, we have multicultural teams in the field, and that means people from all over the world. Different ethnic groups represented, different countries, different religions, different education levels. So we are the face of the global community there to support people in dealing with their differences. So our work was always embedded in a larger strategy and a larger work plan. And we would divide up what we were currently working on, and some of us might, for example, that particular day might be meeting with a local Army commander to get an update on the situation, to inform them what we were doing so that we had connections, we had relationships. It was our role, is our role to try to have all stakeholders be informed. That increases our own security of our staff. We're very transparent in what we're doing, but we do respect the confidentiality of the vulnerable people that we're there to help and protect. So we work with the police, the government officials, the Army, and we work then with community leaders, religious leaders, local NGOs, grassroots organizations to make sure that the lines of communication can stay open so that if there is a family that needs to have some advocacy done, we can help them make those connections so they can do their own advocacy. But we have helped build their confidence to approach the systems, to use the systems so that they become accountable.
What would be an example of a family's issue? Would it be that their son was conscripted? Would it be that, what are some of the situations you would deal with on a regular basis?
Our mandate is all about civilian protection. So any issues that families were having in that regard, we would try to help them strategize what would be their options, talk with them about what some other families in similar situations have done. It was not our role to tell people what was best because they are the ones that ultimately will discover what is best for them. But because we maintain and nourish relationships with all levels and actors, we can lay out some options for them to consider. So they also sometimes bring problems that we can't address. Conflict areas are often quite poor. There are physical needs that are not met. Nonviolent Peace Force does not give out stuff. They do not come to us in a sort of tit-for-tat kind of thing, which frees us up to maintain our protective mission and our nonpartisanship. So we can't be used by any group to say that we've somehow been paid by them or that we've paid them. We come in service to them.
Rita Webb, when I knew you were coming on the show and I hadn't read the material, what popped in my mind was another peacemaker group, the Christian Peacemakers. Can you tell us, do you know about them, and are there other groups like your organization that are doing this kind of work in the world? Is there a network of these? Do you talk to each other?
Yeah. Nonviolent Peace Force is actually standing on the shoulders of giants.
Good term.
And we have learned over particularly the last 25 years, learning from the experience of volunteer organizations such as Peace Brigades International, Christian Peacemaker teams, Balkan peace teams. This is not new work. This is very old work. But what Nonviolent Peace Force is trying to do is to take it to a new level. We are trying to professionalize it. We are training peacekeepers, and we are paying them so that no longer is it an opportunity to contribute for 20-year-olds who are looking for adventure, or for retirees who have the ways and means at that point in their life. We want to be able to offer the opportunity to the full spectrum of the global community, so we can get the 34-year-old with children, and that can be a career choice for them, so that the military isn't the only way to serve and protect. So while we are nonpartisan, we are very much partisan in terms of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, to democracy, to justice, and so forth.
And what are your plans now that you're back? I mean, clearly you're still working with the organization. You're doing talks. You're promoting things. What do you see doing in the next few years?
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's a good one.
I'm still transitioning back, but there is a lot of efforts now that NP, Nonviolent Peace Force, is starting also to build a network within the U.S. We're doing nonviolence training. We're training trainers. We're asked repeatedly, what can we contribute to the violence in our cities in America? So we are building a national network as well. And I imagine that I'll get attached to that and try to contribute from this side of the pond for a while.
How about sharing with our listeners of Live from the Heartland how they would get a hold of you, the organization, and find out more about the Nonviolent Peace Force?
The best and easiest way to access information, of course, is on the web. We are at nonviolentpeaceforce.org, all one word. There you can find our overview, our reports, our press releases, ways to get involved. There are links to our U.S. chapters. One of the things that Nonviolent Peace Force has done during this development phase is to develop an international network. So people may actually already belong to or support one of our member supporting organizations, such as the Fellowship of Reconciliation or Pax Christi. So we have about 90 member and supporting organizations. So there's lots of ways to contribute to this work.
Rita Webb, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing with us about the Nonviolent Peace Force. I want to thank Ms. Werner for hooking us up and making this possible. She came to me and said, this is a great person. You should have her on the radio show. I want to thank everybody who made this show possible. I want to thank our down in the studio engineer, Lisa Smith, my co-host, Lisa Smith, and Katie Hogan. I want to thank Evan West, who's here videographing and sending the signal out. I want to thank Laura Herman, our executive producer. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in and listened, and all the people who are doing wonderful things in the world. We encourage you to do good in the world. The world needs all the good that you do. This is Michael James for everyone at Live from the Heartland saying, power to the people. Over and out. Thanks a lot, girl. It was great.